I think the context that we're in keeps us focused, right? We understand every game. When you look at this road trip, we would go into Detroit, a team that's in our exact situation. That's a home game for them. They have to win that game, so we're going to get their best. On this trip, you've got the two division leaders, two best teams in the conference, and the Stanley Cup champions. So we know that we have to be right and ready. We also know that we're not controlling the entire game. Those are good teams. They're going to have their stretch. I think we've done a really good job in the two wins. Accepting that, Bobrovsky was brilliant in the first 10 minutes of the Detroit game, of the third period of the Detroit game. And he closed the door. I know it got tied, but eventually we had a great power play goal, and the puck's going to come to him, and he made a great shoulder save at the very end of the game, and that's the difference. So confidence earned, and now we can go into this game. I think we've carried pressure for a month, and it's a good thing. You have to learn how to deal with it. But we can go to this game tomorrow night and be excited about where we're at on this road trip and really look forward to having a great trip.
You talk about handling the pressure in a game like yesterday. Obviously, when you look back and you got the 2 points, it's easier to take the positive lessons from it. But to manage the ebbs and flows in a game, how important can that be moving ahead?
Well, no, it's critical because we've had games earlier in the year we couldn't, right? With the St. Louis game, we played exceptionally well through two, and when they started to come, we just couldn't close the door. And some of that is goaltending for sure, and Bob closed the door for us at the end, but it's true of both ends of the rink, right? Both goaltenders have the same task. So it's growth, it's maturity, it's confidence. You cannot hand out participation ribbons to build confidence. It has to be earned, and you have to go through hard things to gain that confidence. Last night was a hard game. They're fighting for their playoff lives too, and they won the Stanley Cup last year, so there is going to be a push. And then they ran McKinnon every second shift, and that's what happens in those games. So handled it, got the win. We're taking it as well earned.
You talked about the Barkov-Lundell connection, Reinhart as well. For that line, Lundy, season high 6 shots on goal. Obviously, all those guys can score goals, but how much do you want Lundy to maybe be more of a shooter on that line?
I want him to shoot the pucks he should, right? Because Barkov is an elite passer, and he's going to put him into holes. What I was scored a goal, 6 shots. But the real tell is they're on the ice in the last minute of the game to close the door. So I've got offensive players who can get the job done defensively. All three of them very bright defensively. Barkov and Lundell are a penalty-killing unit now. They've gone back together, a penalty killing. So you get 2 really good penalty killers. You've got a right-hand shot who's very smart. Yeah, 6 shots. They scored goals. We're excited about that. But the real tell is their game was so right that they closed the game out for us.
And on that goal for Barkov, Lundy beats out in a foot race Makar and Taze and sets up that goal. Just looking at that on film again, what can that do for his confidence to keep showing him that, saying, you can do that?
I loved it because he made the right play prior to it happening. He put a puck deep. My concern going into the game is Lundy gets this chance to play with Barkey, and he's going to be making plays all over. They got to generate something every time. It was the right play. It was the smart play. He put a puck deep, and then he just went to work. Great things happened for him. So I thought that really set up the rest of his game. Do the right thing, even when it's not exciting or may not generate a chance, and good things will happen.
And look at him head to tomorrow's game. Vegas has been a good home team ever since they entered the league. What makes this such a tough place to play?
The players, right? So they've built a good team. I mean, that 4 lines that they're going to roll out is really deep. You've got good players in Phil Kelsey. Carlson is a highly underrated elite player in this league, and they're sitting in the 3-hole. So they've got a very, very deep team right from the time they came as an expansion team, and it's a loud building. So this building, they get anything going, the building gets lit up in here, and energy is a real important thing.